Y'all, we live in difficult times. There's war, political unrest, the pandemic, poverty, families being torn, communities ripped by gun violence and people dying every day, police, injustice. It's all bringing so much pain. But y'all, we can look inside our minds and we can understand who we are, become better, and do this thing like we've never done it before. But it all starts with our mental health, and I know we can do it. I believe in you because I believe in me, and I believe in us. What up, people? How you doing? This is another episode of Therapy is Life, where thinking, feeling, and experiencing well-being is what we do. Today, we're going to talk about the idea of fandom. That's right, fandom. You a Messier fan? Yeah, maybe so. A David Beckham fan? What about a Pele down there in Brazil? Yes. What is going on inside your head when you are a fan? This week in Ohio, we got Michigan and the Ohio State University about to play that game. Or maybe you are a Drake fan. I don't know. Michael Jackson got a movie coming out in April. Maybe you that type of fan. But we want to explore the idea of what it means to be a fan. What a fan is, what it means to be a fan. How does it affect us emotionally? And ultimately, what do we do with that? Win or lose when we are fans. It can get too much, right? So today, y'all, as we start this discussion, I got my boys with me. Maul G.
What up, good people?
Yeah.
Long time no see.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Yeah, it feels good to be back.
It's so good to be here. Do. What's up, Reese?
Man, doing good, man.
Yeah, what's up?
BK what?
PK what?
Man, what up, Doe?
What up,
Shut
Doe?
up, boy, if you're funky. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In the building, man. You know what I'm saying? Your boy is back.
Your boy is
Got
back.
him from behind the scenes today, man. This is
Yeah,
special
he in the
day,
camera.
man. You know?
Yeah.
Go,
Gracious.
Yeah, bringing some of that blurs and clip knowledge.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We're talking fandom. You know, y'all know I'm a movie fan. I'm a music fan. You know what I'm saying? I'm a fan of my chin being on 10. You feel me?
And Vigatron, did he get the meter? But anyway, so fellas, I'm curious. Before we get too deep off into this conversation, I want y'all to tell me some of the people, some of the teams that you are really fans of. Excuse me. You know, who wants to start first down this journey?
You want to start here? You know what, man? I'm a homeboy, man. You know, Cleveland. Pretty much any team Cleveland got, man. I'm rooting for, man. You know, I'm gonna go with them to the top, and I'm gonna stick with them even if they on the bottom. So, you know, Cleveland, O State. You know, on the college side, I got fam who played for Alabama, so I got some Alabama Roll Tide in me. And then, you know, my pop's originally from KC, so I done been a KC Chiefs fan too my whole life. So, but the majority of me is all homeboy based, man. Cleveland, you know. I'm talking about even Cleveland Crunch. If you know about the Cleveland Crunch, man, y'all know about the Cleveland Crunch soccer team.
Yeah,
Sound like a terrible
Cleveland
cereal.
Lumberjacks hockey team. You know, like I roll with anything Cleveland.
Gotcha.
Shoot, I am on the college side. I've been a Duke basketball fan for an extended period of time. Actually, how I got to that, I am a huge Austin Rivers.
Okay.
I am a huge Austin Rivers fan. So when he went to Duke, I've been a Duke fan since then. The Cleveland Browns, because my grandpa wasn't going for nothing else. Right. Me being a fan of anything else. The Drake fan, obviously. We ain't gonna dive into that, but just a fan of a couple people, but players. But those are the only really two like teams. I'm like fans of. Most of the time, I'm just fans of like different players.
I don't watch sports. You know what I'm saying? So we can talk about other stuff. But you know what I'm saying? Look, I'm always for the home. You know what I'm saying? For the home team when it comes to this. Look, whatever. If they playing, I know what's going to happen when the Browns playing. But I want them to win. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's good for the economy.
Listen, like, I'm always for the gang. I'm always for the crib. But I ain't watching sports until it's the playoffs or until it's the finals or until it's the Super Bowl. Then I'm like, all right, let me see who the best people was this season. I'll watch then. Otherwise, not really interested. But I am a fan of a bunch of other stuff, though. I'm a fan of nerd culture. I'm a fan of music, movies, so on and so forth, which is why I got a whole movie podcast. So I'm a fan of film, directors, actors. So I think I'm just a fan of talent. And so, you know, anybody who's like really, really just obnoxiously, observably good at something, I can, you know what I'm saying, stand behind as a fan of they craft. Like, you know what I'm saying, just somebody who is exuding excellence at whatever they doing, I can be behind as a fan.
Got you on that. You know what, y'all folks? I gotta say, I have something that might be very irrational, but I have a bias against you because, number one, before I was anything as a fan, I was a North Carolina Tar Heel fan.
Okay, that's why when you said, dude, you felt that.
Like, on the real, like, a North Carolina Tar Heel fan. Before, look, I was a little kid.
Talking about Brad Doherty, Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
era,
Michael Jordan era, man. I was a little kid, but look.
Yeah, that's a deep rivalry. That's like Old State, Michigan. Like that's that type of energy right there.
It's that deep.
Yes, man. One of my best friends, he lives in North Carolina, man, and he's a Duke fan. So we have all these battles, man. Surprisingly, over the weekend, he didn't reach out to me when Duke beat Carolina in football.
Oh, y'all that deep.
Yeah.
See, I'm just on the basketball
But
side.
but I'm not really so much into football. I'm not really so much into football, especially right now, right? Mm-hmm. But the Tar Heels, I get emotional about the basketball team. I get emotional. Secondly, grew up in an environment down south. My mom went to school with a young man who played professional football with the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
He also went to the Olympics. And because my mom went to high school with him, she graduated. He played for the Cowboys. I never seen him play, but that kind of created this environment where my mom's family were really Cowboy fans. And so I grew up seeing the Cowboys play. And another thing, being in the South, before things got to where they are now, you got to remember, there wasn't so much ESPN until I got a little bit older, a little more conscious. By the time I got conscious, I think ESPN was there, but it wasn't like it is now.
Right.
Because they didn't have like all these other teams being seen. Like on a Sunday, you always saw Cowboys. If you wasn't in the city, you always saw the Cowboys. You always saw the Yankees. You always saw the Lakers. You always saw the Celtics. Yeah. These are the teams that you saw. Those primetime teams. And of course, that was another reason why I became a Cowboy fan. And of course, when I really got to be of any age, the Cowboys were the team in the 90s, right? So you can know what the Cowboys were going to do, and you couldn't stop it. Yeah. You couldn't stop it.
So you still rock with the Cowboys?
But to this day, man, I still rock with the Cowboys. In fact, I have a Tony Dorsett jersey my uncle just recently gave to me like a year ago. I never wear it, but I've been a Cowboys fan. Now, I have some cognitive dissonance with my decision to still be a Cowboys fan because, you know, Jerry Jones is not my cup of tea.
As an owner.
Right. As an owner. However, the question for me is, well, this has been I appreciate the Cowboys and all these players that I enjoyed watching and just being connected with that. But you know what? I don't really have that much love for the owner. It is what it is. So I have that duality with the Cowboys.
It's funny. I recently just seen somebody say a lot of derogatory things about Cowboys fans that aren't from Dallas, Texas. Like just saying like how they kind of like are like leashes, you know, like that. Like somebody was just saying, like it's the mentality that they have is just like we're rolling with this team because of what they once were instead of what they currently are. And a lot of people have that type of like loyalty to their team, but Cowboys fans seem a little different because I know personally, like a lot of Cowboys fans that live in Cleveland, it's just like kind of weird to me because it's like, how in the world did you become a fan of a team in Texas? You know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
exactly. Now, like me, I grew up in the South, and at one point they didn't have the Jacksonville Jaguars, they didn't have the Carolina Panthers. You know, you had the Atlanta Falcons, you had the Miami Dolphins, you had the New Orleans Saints, you know, you had the Houston Oilers, right? But and so. But the Dallas team was the team that they showed every Sunday, pretty much. Or the Yankees was the team they showed every weekend. You always and Notre Dame was always on TV. Too, I think one of the reasons why Notre Dame is not as good as it used to be is because they don't dominate the airwaves like they did back in the day. Because they always seem to have they've always had their own contract with CBS or NBC, you know, like they've always been there.
It was NBC. I remember as a kid always seeing Notre Dame games. Come on, NBC.
Yeah. So now it's so different. Where you can catch just about any team on any given day, and so it took that away from them, that advantage they had on other schools. Because even in college, you had Ohio State and Michigan and Nebraska and those schools, Miami, Miami, Florida State, those teams were like, boom.
TCU. I never heard of a TCU until like 10 years ago. You know, now TCU then turned into this team that's always kind of in the hunt for something a little small. I think it's like a Christian school in Texas.
Yeah.
You know, but
and
because of ESPN and stuff like that, you get more airtime.
Yeah, and I second that because it's funny because like I've never been to Cameron Indoor at Duke. Never even been to North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? But it's on my bucket list. But I guess kind of like maybe some people was fans because certain players went there and they're like, I'm gonna just root for them. Kind of like what you were saying, like, how are you from Cleveland but you're a Cowboys fan?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
because somebody could have saw Ezekiel Elliott play for the Cowboys and say, "Oh, I'm a Cowboy fan now," right? Or, you know, but you know, I'm also definitely a Guardians fan. Because when I first came to Cleveland, that was the thing that was like, oh wow, man, because that team was loaded, man. The 90s. When I first came to Cleveland, I saw the baseball team because I was a Braves fan, but they was all pitching, right? And then you come up here and these dudes like hitting the home runs.
It's like exciting.
Oh my God, this is like different, like so different. So I was drawn into that, and then it became a Cavs fan, and obviously that's been what it's been, and I've developed a interest and love for the Browns, but you know that's been hard. But it's been hard. But I'm rooting for the Browns every Sunday, man. I was excited when Shador went out there and did his thing. But anyway, we're gonna get a little bit more into that. Why do you guys?
Watch on him.
No, yeah,
he did the Shador move on him, man. The Shador move, man.
I have my watch on Sunday. I have it on this Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, why do you think we want to be fans, man?
I ain't gonna lie. I think one of the most dopest things for me personally is like when you can go into a stadium or an arena and I don't know you and you don't know me, but we have a common goal, and that's to cheer our team on to victory, right? And like you see like these games, like even like like even there was a lot of people that was Browns fans that was in Vegas. And they were all clapping hands and hugging each other. And I don't even know you and you don't know me, but it brings that excitement all together. And for those 2 hours, 2.5 hours, I know you're not a sports fan, but you can just escape.
Yeah.
It don't matter what's going on in the world. When LeBron was here with the Cavs, it didn't matter. I could have had a bad day, flat tire. My wife could have left me. But LeBron is on TV, or LeBron is at the Quicken Loans Arena at the time, and I'm going to the game. And for that period of time, you could just let go. And it didn't matter what the person next to me was going through. I don't even care what he believe in. That don't even matter. We here to cheer our team on. And everybody could get together, man. I think that's so beautiful when fans could get together because it don't matter. It don't matter, like I said, what you believe in, your political beliefs, your background, none of that. It's we can just come together and cheer on the fans. And like some games and some arenas, I've been to some dope games, some very dope arenas too.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, this is amazing. It's beautiful. I ain't gonna lie. It's like it's art.
Gotcha.
It is.
I mean, it's the same thing in the movie theater.
No, for
You
sure.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, because
100%.
we definitely was 400 deep in that joint, rooting for the Avengers to beat down. and
We used to talk about that.
And got our souls crushed at the end of Infinity War when them niggas lost to them.
Did you dress up?
Oh, no, bro. Like, I mean, they do it.
Did you though? Did
He
you
had a
guys,
t-shirt on. He had something.
You had
You know
not
what
a
I'm
t-shirt,
saying?
hoodie, nothing.
See, like, this is the thing, bro. I be wearing my piece, and niggas be like, that's the Doctor Strange. Yeah, you know
Okay,
what I'm saying?
valid,
So
valid,
respectfully,
valid.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Niggas think I do magic anyway, so it's like, yep, I'm with it. You know? But no, but like, bro, like people be in there, like, definitely, like, coming out dressed as their favorite characters, dressed as their favorite whoever, bro. Like, it's a thing, man. It's just like that. Like you said, it's that level of like connection. I don't have to know nothing about you. I just know that we know that we both fucks with this. You know what I'm saying?
for
Like,
sure.
so with that being said, it's like, you all right with me. And I ain't gonna ask you nothing else. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to know nothing else. And it don't really matter. What matters is in this moment, for this couple hours, we
That's all that
fans, you know
matters.
what I'm saying? We fans of the same thing. We ain't here to, you know what I'm saying, for the same result. And we either, and like I said, usually in that hero setting in movies, you know what I'm saying, the good guys win. You know what I'm saying? Same in sports. Usually your good guys win. But like I said, Infinity War, the good guys lost. Sometimes our team take an L. We all took an L together. That movie theater was silent at the end of Infinity War when Thanos won. We was like, what?
Yeah.
No post-credit scene, no nothing. It was just like, what? Just
You
send
lost
us
hope?
home and we got to go home for a year? And half the Avengers got turned into dirt, nigga? What?
What you
Yeah.
gonna do now?
And we just gotta, bro. Like that's the thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? All right, yeah, when your season over, all right, cool, the season over. But like, you know what I'm saying? It's still other games to watch. You know what I'm saying? Like your team season might be over, but it's still other games to watch.
When the
For
movie
us,
off is off.
we was chalked for a year. It's like,
Until we figured it
damn,
out.
nigga, like that's crazy.
And you know what? Now that you say that, it was so funny. There was all these people on YouTube and different places trying to prognosticate about what was gonna happen next.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, you see the Fandom. We spent a whole year trying to guess how they was gonna bring everybody back to life, how they was gonna get the win, what they was gonna do with Thanos, what was gonna be the end result. Like even what the name was gonna be, because they didn't announce the name. They waited to announce the name as Endgame for so long. Like it's hundreds of videos on the internet of people guessing what the title of the movie was gonna be.
Yeah.
That's like
there
that's
was
how
stuff
deep
up
the
there
Fandom
every
was.
day. Like,
Or think
boom.
about it like even like I think about it like with my grandpa, who's been a Browns fan since he was a kid. He's in his 70s. You know what that means? Like he went through so much heartbreak, but it don't matter because when it's game one, him and all his buddies that he's been cool with, and they all in their 70s, they just pop up. And it's like, you know for a fact the Browns probably not gonna be good. But it's just still something about you just gotta rally behind your team. It's beautiful.
What you want to say
What I
real
was
quick?
gonna say is it was something like what you said earlier. Even the connecting piece between like sports, movies, music, the element of being a fan is like escaping your reality. You know,
Right.
being able to have something else to focus on, something else to root for and cheer on, that could kind of sometimes internalize your winning spirit for yourself, right? So like the best time to be alive in my existence in Cleveland was 2016 when we won the championship.
Oh,
Right, yeah.
Because when I came downtown that night, I'm talking about I'm high-fiving complete strangers. I'm seeing people breakdancing in the middle of the street, people hanging from ceiling, you know, all rooting for this team. And that was the connecting draw for all of us. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody had a concern about maybe what was going on in their personal life. It was all about that team that made us feel like winners for that day. You know what I'm saying? And that could be, like you said, through music. I done been to concerts. I'm a big fan of musicians, live music, right? Concerts. And when I'm in those concerts, man, it feels like nothing's outside going on outside of this experience that I'm having right here. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's that escape from your reality that I think draws us to be fans so much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah. And let me ask you this. Yeah, that escape is important. What about and the fantasy, right? The escape, the fantasy. And what about the amazement of seeing somebody do something that you wish you could do or would like to do?
It almost come off supernatural to do, right?
Yeah, you see them do it, and it's almost like it's a projection of yourself in them. Like you see yourself vicariously through them.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? If this may not make sense to y'all, but and whether or not I agree with him or disagree with him on everything he said or did, when I saw Barack Obama become president, I felt like I became president, man.
For sure.
Because I could relate with him in a way that I couldn't relate to anybody else that ever became president. I'm not saying he was better or worse, but I could relate with him in ways I could never relate to anybody else. Yeah. And by the way, with that being said, do you know when he became president, black boys did better in school, by the way?
I believe it.
Yeah.
Oh, no, for sure.
And I think, like, with you with the movies, like that with movies. Like, I can watch a movie, or there's certain movies that I really love, like my favorite movies, and I can live through that character. You know what I'm saying? For that period of time, or I can just relate so much with them.
Yeah.
So, like, what you was saying like that, like, that's how y'all probably was even in the movie theaters. You know what I'm saying? Or at that movie.
Yeah. So can you imagine watching some of those crazy like John Wick movies or Kung Fu movies or whatever? You like, oh, hey.
No, for sure. You know
Like,
back in the day, you know what I'm saying? They'd watch them Kung Fu movies and go to school trying to kick the hell out of each other.
Man,
And you watch it a
after
couple times
watching
and
the
now you know the
Jean-Claude
moves,
Van
you know what I'm
Damme
saying?
movie, man, I definitely thought I was like, on some, like, I thought I knew karate. Just from watching that movie.
Watching somebody else. They actually don't even know it they self, but they stunt double do. But you don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, in that moment, though, you know what I'm saying?
Bro.
That's what you think is locked in your mind. You know what I'm
For
saying?
sure. I think I'm like that with, y'all remember You Got Served?
Oh, for sure.
I know all the dance moves that You Got Served from top to bottom. I thought, man, I wanted to be a dancer after that.
Yeah.
Like, for
When
real.
you did, like slow motion, like crucifix backflip. That was the coldest.
You Got
flip
Served
I
this
ever
weekend.
saw in my
Watching You Got
life,
Served this
bruh.
weekend.
It was
You want to watch that this weekend?
Yeah, I'm watching.
Hey, how many times have you guys tried to run up walls and do a flip?
And to this day, like when
I
people
never
see
tried it, but I vicariously like thought I could, man. But I said I ain't.
I done tried like, how can I run this
my
wall and flip like?
Nope. What I'm not about to do is fold myself in half and be a scorpion. That's crazy. I'm not doing it. You know what I'm saying? Land on my neck, meat, and my shoes touch the back of my head. I'm just
Yeah, man. So I mean, this is some good stuff, man. I'm curious with the stuff we're saying. We're talking about escaping fantasy, seeing people have skills and abilities that you would love to have or would hope to have at some point in time. Your dreams, your desires. What about y'all talked about it a little bit, but I want to talk about a little bit more. This sense of collective identity. Like, I'm from Cleveland, so you see I'm repping. Yeah. Cleveland! It's time to make some noise for your Cleveland Cavaliers!
The lights. Man, I'm telling y'all, dog. It's a crazy. Now listen, I'm not even gonna go. I'm sorry, I was at the playoff game last year when they played the Heat. It was game 2. And they did the Cavalanche. You ever seen that? Bro. They did. So the Cavs going a crazy run. The stadium's going crazy. Everybody losing their minds. Then they was like, it's a Cavalanche. The whole arena turns white. They start dropping fake snow from the sky.
Oh, that's hard.
The dancers and the cheerleaders had goggles on, and the whole arena was white. And it was just, they was playing jump around. And I for a second, I just looked around. I said, yo, this is crazy. And stuff like that is like, man, it make you be, good to be a fan.
But what was you saying? Like the collective energy of
energy, people coming identifying with that. Do you feel like that influences your self-esteem? How you feel about yourself as a person?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Man,
I think it do.
How many players on the basketball team?
15.
Great. So, okay, cool. So, like, this will tell you very simply. 15 niggas won a championship. You know what I'm saying? and
the whole
and
city.
and the whole and we became championship city, nigga. Every person in the city is a champion because 15 niggas won.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we
And you
all was
feel
like,
that way, though.
that's us, nigga. We did
I
it.
remember-
we didn't do nothing.
But think about it. They literally rewrote the script of Believe Land.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Because before the stigma that Cleveland was a losing city, you
Right.
know, like, and it did affect the mentality of the people, you know, it affected the economy, you know, all types of things were affected behind this losing mentality of what our sports franchises did. So that championship shifted the paradigm almost. It literally made people believe in themselves and think like, okay, I could be from Cleveland and be a champion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that was almost unfathomable before that.
For real.
Literally, man.
100%.
Being the Pinto to the Escalade.
Bruh.
Quick. And I think too, it's heartbreaking when your team lose.
Yeah.
It just like, it bothers you. Like it bothers you for really a good deal of time.
Yeah, because ultimately though, they are the representative because our city's name is on them.
They represent
They
the
are
city.
the representatives of us.
And
so if
absolutely.
they losing, we losing, and it's like damn. So then if they winning, we winning.
Have you ever been to the airport in Boston?
Yeah.
You go to the airport in Boston, banners for every single sports team that they have up.
It's in the airport.
So we're talking about the Red Sox, Boston Celtics, the Patriots, even the Bruins,
The Bruins.
champions. And that arrogance is on the people in the city. Like they walk around with the confidence of knowing, yeah, you in Boston. It's a championship city. You know what I mean? Like it's a certain
That's crazy.
bravado that they have about themselves just because they know, like, yeah, it's Boston.
It's us,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Or you ask somebody from Chicago how it felt to be there during them years. Michael Jordan won those championships. Man, come on, man. 6 championships? They said you couldn't tell them nothing in that city during that time frame.
Yeah, I never seen a championship ring until then because I seen a couple of people with some deep pockets that I ran into walking around and got one of them joints on.
The
I'm
Cavs?
Like, damn, yeah. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
damn, bro, this is crazy.
But
I got
guess,
the fake one. I ain't gonna hold you, man.
Yeah.
I got one of the ones that came in the Cracker Jack box, man. Probably was cubic Sigonian, man.
Yeah.
But I didn't care, man. It had Cleveland.
Yeah.
If we would have dubbed up, oh my god, bro.
That'd have been crazy.
They was up 3-1.
Yeah, it was like reverse. It was reverse on, and that's what I'm saying. Like I remember. I'm sorry, Jared. I remember like obviously like I said, I became a Duke fan when Austin Rivers was there. Obviously, we didn't win that year, but years down, we ended up winning in 2015. But I remember even prior to that, like Duke always is like Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final Four every year. You know what I'm saying?
Mix.
When they would lose, man, it would just tear me down for like weeks on end.
Yeah.
Like I would be I would be hurt. You know what I'm saying? And I feel the same way now. Like if it's a certain like player that I'm really rooting for, like I remember when like KD and them lost when they was in Brooklyn and his foot was on the line, they ended up losing to Young. I was hurt, bro, for that whole summer.
like
it
serious.
it stuck with me.
I believe it.
It really do. It stuck. And then don't let now Gerald know this. Don't let Duke lose this year. Your team lost. I don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And then that make it worse. But no, you're so invested into that it hurt.
I want to say,
What's
it
the-
does hurt when your favorite team loses, and obviously it does affect how we feel. Because I know in Cleveland, this past Monday was better than the Mondays before.
Oh, absolutely.
Because the Browns won, and so. But with that being said, what do you think is some of the when we say fan, we think fanatic, we think obviously it becomes something that's irrational. What do you think is some of the serious irrational things about being a fan? Now, look, I want to start right here, dude. So, you know what? I used to like listening to sports radio because sports is an escape. But Jesus, when I listen to it, and I hear these exaggerated takes on teams, players, all this different stuff. It just, whether it's good or bad, it gets on my nerves. I'm
Yeah.
like, I might as well be listening to some politics or
Yeah.
something more serious because
Right.
I don't find the joy in talking about all that stuff
Right.
that they're talking about and all the speculations about people being traded and how bad this player is or that player is and all this different stuff. I just don't get it. So it kind of it becomes to me like irrational at that point.
Yeah, distasteful at that point.
And yeah, I just turn to watercolors.
Yeah, I mean, like from that standpoint, these analysts who critique athletes, man, you know, to me, it's so irrational because a lot of them can't do a fraction of what these athletes do. So to critique them on a level of what they should be doing when it's like you literally can't do that, like I could take that from another expert or somebody who can do something on that level to be able to critique them. But, you know, I mean, something like, you know, what Stephen A. Smith to me is doing to LeBron, like, you know, going so hard at that brother, instead of giving him his accolades for the things he has done well, trying to knock him for, you know, the flaws or whatever character kinks that he might have in his armor, to me is totally corny. But, you know, the thing about, or you were saying earlier about fanatical, right? Like, the flaw in it is, I think at the end of the day, we're talking about looking up to people who are human beings, right? They're humans.
Yeah.
So they're capable of human error or flaw. You know what I mean? Like, I look at it in the same note as like meeting your favorite artist, like musician or something like that. Like, you might be a fan of this person's talent, but then lo and behold, you meet them in person and find out that they're a terrible person. You know what I mean? Like, they say a lot of times you don't even want to meet your idols because they might let you down.
Exactly.
You know, and so for me, like, I remember, you know, not to knock my bro LeBron again, man, but those first years when he were in Cleveland, I had LeBron at such a high pedestal because of what he was doing for the city and just to see him achieve these things coming from, you know, being a kid in Akron. And then when he made his decision to go to Miami, it crushed me to the point where, like you were saying, dude, I was sick for months.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? On end about LeBron leaving, man. Even to bleeding into the next season, like hating on him when he was in Miami at first.
Yeah.
And then I had to really like reevaluate myself. It's like, man, why am I hating on this dude? You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a human being entitled to his own decisions and, you know, moves just like anybody else is in life. You know, he a young kid. He wanted to explore things outside of this city. I felt like they put too much pressure on him to be the savior of this city. Like, that really wasn't his responsibility at the end of the day. But I think as fans, going into that fanatical standpoint, we put so much onto this. If they let us down, it crushes us. You know what I'm saying? In the same note. And that's like unhealthy for real, man.
No, it is.
Y'all add anything to that?
I think that in like those cases specifically, I feel like, especially because like content is king. I feel like a lot of times these people don't even really be believing everything that they be saying wholeheartedly. They just be saying stuff for the shock value, for the clip farming. You know what I'm saying? For the sake of getting more clicks on what it is that they saying, and don't even actually really believe or buy into fully what they saying. And they opinion can be bought. You feel me? So that's a little bit different in those regards. But I do also agree with what you're saying too about people who spend all this time focusing on and analyzing something that they have no ability to do. Always blew me, because like it would be crazy to see somebody who's never picked up a pair of clippers go and critique Maul's haircuts and be like, yeah, bruh, I think your blend could have been a little more. I was like, bro, like,
right.
Let me please, bro, take the clippers, because while you breaking it down for me, you sound like you got the science.
No doubt.
I triple dog dare you. You know what I'm saying?
Great analogy.
To not have this dude walk out of here without beating you up,
right?
Because you think you got it down because you looked at something, bro.
Right.
Like, you don't understand what go into this and what it take behind the scenes, or have the technique. You don't know nothing about the flick of the wrist. That's not just a song, brother. This is an art. You feel me? So It's like, it's always crazy to hear people critique things that they don't know nothing about in all actuality because you don't have no experience on it.
And that,
You know what I'm saying? Like, how dare you try to tell me how to do something I do that you don't do?
Yeah.
Never been a coach. Maybe never even played the game on any level. But because you know how to, you're a journalist.
Or you just have a platform.
You got a platform you got to take. And the way you get people to listen to you is to come up with some sensational thing just to get clicks. And it's like, oh my God. Now for me, that doesn't work because it's like, y'all just stop, man. This is crazy. But for many people, that works.
No, I do.
To get them to listen. And what's even more crazy is sometimes when you listen to what the fans say, oh my God, it's like, are these people serious? This is just a game. And by the way, when I'm saying it's just a game, remember when Charles Barkley said, I'm not a role model? That was a very important point.
Yes, it was.
Because I think people assume just because somebody's an athlete,
They should be a role model, yeah.
But
Yeah, it's like,
not necessarily the case.
like what, bro? Like, no, like
It was conflict. Yeah, that was conflicting at first when I heard him say that, because I still do feel like athletes are just naturally role models, whether or not you want to be that or not.
Yeah.
But you got to respect his honesty and saying that, almost just admitting that I'm not perfect. So don't look at me as the picture perfect example of how to be. Respect my talent as an athlete, but I'm not trying to raise your son, you know.
Right.
I'm not telling your son to do everything that I do, you know, just because I'm good at playing basketball.
Right.
And you know, another thing I want to say about that is I read I've read one of Shakespeare's sonnets. It might be sonnet number 25, but in this sonnet, he talks about the warrior who goes out and wins 1,000 battles, but yet at the first loss, he's forgotten about, he's despised. And then he goes on to say he'd rather have the love of a family than to be a warrior who at the first loss is forgotten about. And often I think about that when it comes to athletes or people who are performers, because you doing all this great stuff, right? And then as soon as you do something people don't like, it's like they irrationally put you up here on a pedestal, and as soon as you do something wrong, it's like they destroy you.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That is crazy.
Happens all the time, man.
No, because I mean, but I feel like that's you know what I'm saying, you the therapist or whatever, but you know what I'm saying. But I feel like that's like, you know, a level of projection. You know what I'm saying, like projecting, you know what I'm saying, your feelings and your expectations onto somebody because you know what I'm saying, because something about them connects with you. But that ain't fair though. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not fair. I don't like I'm good at what I do and therefore I do it. You know what I'm saying? The same way I assume other people who are good at what they do it because they're good at it or because they like it, because it's their talent, because it's their passion. I don't do it for you to put expectations on me that you make up in your own mind. You're a stranger, fam. You know what I'm saying? Like that's super weird. You wouldn't go inside McDonald's and be like, man, I heard y'all manager got arrested. My son look up to him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like that's crazy. Like what, bro? Just because they in a position, like it's only when you in a public eye that people put weird expectations on you,
Right.
That you wouldn't put on anybody else.
Right.
You just don't. You know what I'm saying? You don't walk into a place and be like, who runs this joint? And then be like, all right, cool. You better be perfect. That is not how it works in the real world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But through the TV,
it's like fantasy land.
It's like fantasy land. Or you better not have a bad game. If you have a bad game, he should be traded. Or
right.
All that. Like, come on, man. Stop. Like, it gets terrible.
You blame the wrong record. Kill the DJ. You know what I'm saying?
That's a little different.
Yeah, don't get me started on that, man. Once again, like people just critiquing lanes that they don't do, you know, until you step in those shoes and have to fulfill that expectation, man, then you'll see what the standards is at.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I remember one time, dude, I was speaking of a Miami Heat game. I'm at a Cavs Miami Heat game. And we had pretty good seats. We were probably about 8th row behind the away team's bench. And Victor Oladipo, you know Victor Oladipo, he was sitting at the end of the bench. You know he's been dealing with a lot of injuries over his career. Guy who was about 2 rows behind me get to yelling down at Victor Oladipo, Victor, you suck. You suck. I hate you, Victor. I can't believe you're always hurt. And then he definitely was in earshot. Victor Oladipo kept turning around like, who was this yelling my name? And then eventually he just got up and stood up and addressed the dude and said, hey, my guy, have a good evening, man. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then the guy was just, getting chuckles out of it. You could tell he was lightweight drunk.
Yeah.
And, those drunk fans think that they can say anything sometimes to these
100%.
players. And his thing was, he was saying, well, I paid all this money for these tickets. I want to have a good time. But I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking like, man, you don't know what this man is going through in his personal life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're looking at him from a fan standpoint on what your expectations is for him to entertain you on that basketball court.
Exactly.
But his mother may have died that day, or he might be going through something personal with his wife at home or something like that. You don't know what his interpersonal dealings are for these fans. And that's why I respect players like Russell Westbrook, man, who will like run up on the fan if he disrespects him too much.
Draymond just did it the other night.
Did he?
Yeah, he just did it. Yeah, Draymond just actually, he got in trouble though.
If it's irate, but sometimes these fans be crossing the line, bro. Like, and I don't respect that, man. Like, these people are humans too, man. Like,
and like you said, they be having too much to drink and
too deep into their fantasies. Like, okay, this is the virtual reality, and I can just step in and I can do what the heck I want to.
Right.
But fellas, one other question I want to ask y'all about this thing about being a fan. Do you think that sometimes the people that we have in our lives more intimately, do you feel that sometimes those people see you as like, okay, so either you're a fan of them or they're a fan of you, and ultimately you don't have any room to disappoint
100%.
or fail in their lives.
100%. 100%.
Absolutely.
So you don't always show up as that ideal person, or you don't have that ideal, that ideal experience, then boom, you no more good. You need to be traded, or you need to be get rid of, because maybe you made a mistake or you did something wrong.
Yeah.
But
and you can also just not be, how you was saying, like, your personality, you might be a certain way, right? So with your family, they're like, oh, you come around, it's like laughing, giggling, but maybe you just didn't have a good day, or maybe you just not in the mood. But the minute you don't show the side that they normal to, or what they accustomed to, it's like you said, like, oh, you need to leave, or you acting funny, or you need to be, like you said, you need to be traded, or like, bro, I'm sometimes I don't have a good day. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes things just don't always go my way, or sometimes I'm just not in the mood to talk. You know what I mean? I think it's like that with family. I think it's like that with friends. Sometimes my friends know I don't be answering the phone. And it's not because I'm doing nothing. I just don't want to talk. I don't want to answer the phone.
Yeah.
But why should you be, if you always answer the phone for them or always come through for them, that one time you don't, why is it that it's like the sky is falling?
Yeah.
Why is it you just the worst person, or you should, like you said, you suck, or you should be traded, or
Yeah.
we need to get rid of you, or you ain't my real friend, like just because I'm not in the mood, or I'm just not having the best game, or I'm not having the best day? Like, why is it like that?
I know for me, man, I try to be conscientious of not bringing like home to work or work to home. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's conflicting where, I might come to work and, as a barber, everybody expects me to have these conversations and have this energy and be able to, be a certain role for them every time that they come and sit in the chair, right? And sometimes I might be going through something personal that I don't want to necessarily give to them, my personal thing that I'm dealing with, but I'm still like expected to, perform. And, I would say for the most part, my people do good with not like getting on me when times that they can see that I'm not, the normal self that they see, or vice versa, when coming home, like especially dealing with kids, anybody with kids can relate that sometimes your kids don't care about what's going on financially in your life. They don't care how you physically feel. Their expectation for you is their expectation for you. You know what I mean?
Right.
You super dad every day. Put me on your back. I don't care how long you been standing. Like, I need you to do push-ups with me and all that type of stuff. And sometimes you don't feel like it, man. But it's like, I be having to tap into that Holy Spirit power sometimes, man, to get through those moments, man. But yeah, it's just like definitely it's a level of expectation that people have on you sometimes that you just can't meet every time, man. And you got to be able to be at peace with that.
You know, I ask this question because sometimes I feel like that we find ourselves in places where people idolize us. And when they idolize us, the problem with that is that we'll feel like it's like this is a great thing, and they look at us, they really think we this or that. But what that does is that dehumanizes you, because at the end of the day, people who really care about you not only see your strengths, but they also can see your weaknesses, and they can embrace you in that place. You don't need to be traded because you got a weakness. They can embrace you. And I think it's important, particularly when we talk about like long-term relationships, that we don't seek people that idolize us. We see people that can see us for who we are completely.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, no, that's a banger.
Mic drop.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? In the episode.
Man, we're so busy having fans out here. And we talk about being fans. We're so busy having fans out here, but only a few people ever really gonna love you the way you need to be loved. They're gonna really see you in and out and gonna be there for you. We call them the ride and diers.
Oh yeah.
Those confidants.
Yeah, I
really see you.
I need my people to have my back like Trump supporters. They go so hard.
Man, that's a diehard fan.
Bruh, you know what I'm saying?
That's a diehard fan.
I think he got the only fan base that's more aggressive than the Browns. You know what I'm saying? Like, he don't matter what he do, bruh. He can sock a baby in the face. They're going to be like, but the baby was looking at him funny. Like, yo.
That's a whole another type of thing.
Because let me ask y'all this, to your point about like the relationship side of it, right? Because I know I always give like young guys, you know, advice related to coming in to finding a relationship where they'll always say, you know, well, man, I ain't ready for a relationship. I got to work on me and I got to get myself all the way together. You know, I'm trying to get solid financially and get me a house and get all these things established. But my thought is, it's better to find that relationship on the come up on that, because then you know that that person is really there for you. Like, and they're there to help you achieve those things, because once you've achieved those things, then sometimes I look at it like you don't know necessarily if they with you for you or for what you represent or what you bring to the table at that point. You know what I mean?
No, for sure.
Like if they with you on the come up, they really with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if they get with you when you done already came up, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
Then it's questionable, but at the same time, though, I only would say, because I mean, I've genuinely been in that situation where I was like, hey, listen, like, I know for a fact I ain't right now. You know what I'm saying? And what I don't want to do is take on the responsibility of another person. Because ultimately, that's, you know what I'm saying, that's that other side of it too. Because it's like, I might be going through it financially, but then if I commit myself to you and you going through it financially, I gotta double up to really to take care of you, because you gotta be good, because I'm committed to you and I'm the man.
You trying to be a man, right?
You feel me? And then additionally, you know what I'm saying, if you're not in that right headspace to nurture the emotional side of a woman in that space, if you in that space where you trying to lock in on yourself for real, you two committing to a person that's gonna require things of you,
it can be tough.
you know what I'm saying? Like how hard is you trying to make it on yourself when if you already going through it and trying to get it together? You feel
But
me?
I think that would be I know you're gonna give the expert opinion on it. I was just gonna say, like, I think that would have to be the mutual understanding that both of y'all are like kind of leaning on each other. It's like she can't be super leaning on you when she knows that you trying to get your thing together. It's got to be like a mutual, like, when I'm weak, you strong. When I'm strong, you weak. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
the give or take of it.
That would be great, right?
But that is what you're looking for in that place, because obviously two people who are growing and trying to develop themselves, and they become what we could say interdependent. Like, you know what? I know you struggling. I know I'm struggling with some things, but we're gonna work together and we're gonna build something.
Mm-hmm.
But some of that has to start with some internal peace and understanding your own journey, that you are gonna get there, and don't sweat what you don't have right now, because you get too attached to what you don't have. It makes it hard for you to ever even get where you're trying to go.
For sure.
So you won't do nothing. But it's important. I think it's good when people can work together when they don't have to build something. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? And then some people just, if somebody just a taker, you're gonna see that.
And be
You're
able
gonna
to
move on from that
eliminate.
anyway. But when people are reasonable and fair, they know reciprocity. There's gonna be some back and forth, and we're growing. But the other piece of it about that is, don't put expectations on a relationship that you're not ready for. Like, maybe you're not ready for marriage, like all like that. Maybe you're not ready for these big expectations or having kids. Don't put that on your relationship, because pressure versus pipes. Until you're more ready and more comfortable for that. Understanding where you at. But anyway, guys, man. So we obviously understand the idea of being fans of a team or a player or a musician, how it can be positive, it can build social connections, it can be an escape, but it also can be irrational. People can be hurt. Also, in our personal lives, we can be fans of people, idolize them, but not really get to know who they are, and that can be unhealthy. So what we want to try to do is be better at understanding what we are doing in the first place. When we are a fan, understand the people that we're looking at, they're human beings. They're out there, they're doing their thing. They're trying to make money, right?
Of course.
And support their families, and their dreams, their goals. And they provide an escape for us. But those intimate people in our lives, we got to be mindful that we don't idolize them and see them as human beings that can do good and bad, but yet receive love. Anyway, if you like us, please like us. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. And of course, leave your comments in the comment section. I don't care where you're from, but just talk to us. So we want to hear what you got to say. Thank you, and have a nice day.